Sure. There's back in graduate school, I read a book called The Prince uh, by Machiavelli, or
Mhm.
and that book specifically talks about span of control for a prince, for a state, and that book is used quite often in graduate schools. Um, the biggest problem I see in expansion, and I'm relating that to that book, is that people, there's a control issue, right? You can only
Mm.
control so much. Your presence controls so much, and when you're expanding, you're relying on on your general manager or your managing partner or whoever is expanding. Either that's a product or more so in a geographical location, and
Mm.
you have to trust your team, but at the same time you have to be smart enough that you're in those geographies enough. We have
Mm.
uh, our head offices are in Houston, and I
Okay.
spend most of my time in Houston, and no surprise that Houston is our best market, right? Just because we're here 60%, 50% of the time. But
Mhm.
for the same matter, we have offices in Minneapolis that we rarely go to, or we have offices opening in California, or we used to have California office. We're in UK. So you could see very much the performance of a geography, improving or performance going down by how much focus uh, I have or the senior management team has. So in my mind, growth, from a growth perspective, uh, uh, your own presence, and you obviously cannot multiply yourself too often. So your own presence
Yeah.
or your management team's presence. So governance comes into a big play there as well. And how well do you have your processes set up, and how well you're governing those areas.